Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this afternoon's market report breakdown session. Sorry about running a bit behind here, guys. Yeah, a little bit. Oh. Busy old start to the week for me, indeed. I've had so many different technical issues this afternoon. It's not been a fun start to the week, unfortunately, for me. But we've certainly seen some market volatility across the place, which is a good way to start. We've got the Tangerine Man, who has decided not to strike the Iranian power plants, power infrastructure. This has created a bit of a bullish rally in various assets. We've had a lot of risk on in the markets, actually. We've got obviously the stock markets absolutely firing off as a result, and we've got gold selling off as a result on the other side of it. Of course, we will cover those bits and pieces anyway in due course. So let's get cracking on with the market report then. Let's get that up on the screens for you guys out there. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Screen one. There we go. Okay. Right, let's get going then. So we have got, I mean, honestly, after the news that took place about an hour ago, things are actually looking quite different already. Is in comparison to where they were at the beginning of the day. We've had some pretty major sell-offs as you can expect. I mean, gold at the moment is down 2% today already. It is having a bit of a price action pullback. Obviously, we've seen a push up as a result of the Tangerine Man's decisions on Iran. At the moment, it's currently trading at 44.07, which is just at the liquidity point. Not entirely sure which direction it's going to go from here, but as far as the market report is concerned, we were looking at either the retest of liquidity for gold or the break, close, and retest before we got the continuation on the other side. So it will be interesting to see how that one plays out. Thoughts are obviously printed below that exclude the geopolitical situation because, frankly, there's just so much speculation at the moment. We don't know which way Trump's going to go or what he's going to do. Today, it's a pause on the Iranian power strike. Tomorrow, he could go and blow them all up, and that's just what he's like, isn't it? At the moment, very, very unpredictable. But the markets are being ever so more reactive than ever before to anything they hear in the moment. So we're just going to have to kind of navigate those murky waters, metaphorically speaking, until we see any sort of high conviction follow throughs from the setups, I suppose. So looking at the DAX at the moment, I was looking at a retest and continuation lower, as at the beginning of the day, as I mentioned, when I was prepping and planning all of these trading opportunities, the Middle East tensions were increasing. So because of those escalations, it made sense, but actually, the DAX now in the space of maybe, 45 minutes to an hour has risen 2.32%. Biggest daily single gain that we've seen in that space of time for a long time now. It is coming down a little bit, but it's completely invalidated the market report trade idea. So thanks a lot, Trump, for that one. We're currently trading at 22,711 on the DAX. We are trading above liquidity. We need to see retest continuation, and then we can look at how we can sort of navigate that throughout the week as well. Aussie CAD was a potential buyback opportunity from the lows that you can see down here. That one wasn't too bad. Aussie CAD is actually already triggered, really, in a manner of speaking. It's not really doing too much. It did have a really big spike up to around, what was the high, 96.50. But it is coming back down now as the dust settles after what Trump said. It would be interesting, again, just to see where that one goes now. From this stage on, we are trading above liquidity. It is looking buoyant, but there's a couple of things that need to take place for us to get that continuation well underway. And it's going to be more easing of the tensions in the Middle East between the US and the Middle East. So, again, we're just going to have to keep our ear to the ground here. And there's nothing more that we can do at this moment in time, apart from just try to be as quickly responsive and reactive to the news as it's coming through. And then finally, we've got natural gas, looking at a split decision on this one because we haven't seen any kind of trading volume in natural gas now for a couple of weeks. And I was hoping that this week we may see the push or the pull to either side of liquidity, maybe getting a breakdown back down to the previous lows or getting the breaker structure for a run back up to the previous high there. One or the other, I would like to see some momentum in natural gas, and I think this week could be the one. So as we move down, you'll see in market challenges and economic impact scale, there is no data to display. That is not broken. That is just merely because of the fact that there isn't any data to display. I could have just manually put an input of Donald Trump's name next to tentative and just been like, you know, as far as Trump goes, there's always going to be some kind of market challenge like we've had this morning. But honestly, there's, you know, what can you do with regards to that? It's inefficient to have something like that, I suppose. So in terms of economic data this week, it's very, very slow. We don't really have anything of any major scale coming through in terms of economic data that's going to be driving that market volume. So it is going to be purely reliant upon the geopolitics and, of course, some good old-fashioned technical analysis. So moving down into the SSV, we have no major notable call-outs at all. Everything is looking very, very balanced, all within the region of around that sort of 48 to 52 percentile. The VIX at 54.12 is the highest area of long versus short volatility from the VIX index. You guys can see that yourselves. But apart from that, everything is looking very, very balanced out of everything that we've decided to focus our attentions on this week. So moving down into the economic and order booked impact report then, of course, as I mentioned, no data to display. There's nothing really going on that's going to shape market sentiment from an economics perspective this week. It is, again, just going to be solely reliant upon the geopolitical situation and what's going on in the Middle East and the US. Moving on down, we've got 56.48% of all commercial, non-commercial money in longs over shorts of the commodities markets. That's actually quite interesting to see that much long liquidity. And especially when, you know, the majority of those percentage points that you see there will be from commercial institutions. The retail market makes up maybe 2 to 3% of that money. So it's a very, 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 very small percentage. But to see that kind of level of longs, that's very unbalanced. So, you know, we're looking at a good sort of 3 to 4% above the average mean of longs versus shorts there. So I would anticipate there to be, well, there's some bullish price action over the course of the next maybe 5 trading days, maybe throughout this week in particular. So moving on down, equities in focus this week. We've got VRT, XOM, CAT, and LLY. Caterpillar being a 75%er. Very, very good stuff, that one. We've also got Palantir as well, Palantir Technologies. It's just done so well. Do you know, I was looking back, the first time I called longs in Palantir was back in, I believe, around September of 2025. Maybe even a little bit earlier than that. And do you know, since that time, from low to high, it's done 66%, 66.1 or 66.2% in that space of time. Yes, it has had some down days as well in that time, but it's done really, really well. And the great thing about Palantir at the moment is it's just recently had a massive sell-off, which has taken us back to the October lows of last year. So it's another great opportunity to start considering buying back into it. It's definitely got a lot of life left in it, that one. And I'm really quite a fan, to be honest. And then finally, we've got the institutional buying interest by sector, AI infrastructure, energy, industrials, and life science as well, interestingly enough, which comes in at fourth place over the weekend at $1.5 billion inflow. So that's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, life science. It's not something I've maybe touched upon it in the past with particular investments and stuff I've decided to do. but I've never really considered that sector as a major sector for myself to be exposed to. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Would you say, Jack Buckles says, so would you say Palantir is a buy this week? That's what that says, buddy. Yeah, that's what that says on the report. So yeah, Palantir is a buy. That is indeed a buy signal. It's a good opportunity. It's a good place to buy into it. We'll come on to that in a moment. I'll bring up the chart so you can have a look at it. So just in terms of the disclaimer, then, ladies and gents, we've got the information provided in this market analysis report is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered as financial advice or a recommendation to trade or invest. Trading in the financial markets involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. If you'd like to know anything else, please head over to the website www.theutc.com and you can go and check out all of the details there, T's and C's, risk, disclaimer, everything that you need to know. It's all in there. Right then, everyone, let's move over to the charts then. Let's set up that inside the trading community, get the charts up, and we'll have a little bit of a dig through. So we've got this is the Aussie CAD trade at the moment, by the way. That's what it's doing currently. We've got gold as well, which is having a real pump up. We've got minus 1.26, so it's actually done very, very well in its recovery. We've got what seems to be a break close retest liquidity as well. It is starting to make a little bit of a move higher here. The rest of it, natural gas is down 5% as a result of that. I don't actually have a trade live in this one, so that's a shame. That's a shame. I didn't get around to loading up the natural gas opportunity. So at this stage, I'm going to be waiting to buy back into it at around 284 to 286, and then I'll be riding the rally back up to around 310, 312. Up at the highs there, but yeah, it would have been really nice to capture this, but unfortunately not. We're gonna have to hold tight and get in down at the lows. Right, let's have a quick look over at Palantir then. So Palantir Technologies. Look, it's already going up, guys. Pre-market at 153 now, 153.20, 153.15. So it's already gone up $3 a share just in the pre-market this morning. We did have the really, really big sell-off that came down to 128. And if we go up here to the daily time frame, clear up some of the noise, that level in there, it's 126-ish. If we go back, this is in sort of, oh look, I do beg your pardon. That's way long ago actually. That's June time, May last year. So really nice big sell-off there. And remember, this is available for fractional share buying, so you don't have to be spending $150 on the share price. You can just buy yourself a little portion of it, and take it away from there. But yeah, not too bad at all. And our low from high was September, so that's there. So Palantir Technologies was trading at around where it is right now, to be honest, at around 153. And then we rose up to the high at about 66% higher to 208 high. Then we came back down again. Secondary opportunity back up to 200. Then we've come down again. We've broken the lows, but now we're on our way back up. So now what we can see here is actually break close retest structure at that level. And it looks like it's getting ready for the next push. Next push up to the highs up there, which could be great, right? It could be really good. Yeah, not bad. So, okay, so Jack says, okay, if you can explain a bit more on that in this live session as normal. You just have a quick overview on them. Okay, if you can explain a bit more on that in this live session as normal. You just have a quick overview. From the market reports perspective, yeah. Yeah, that's fine, yeah, so... Well, I mean, over and above, yeah, this, it's an AI infrastructure company. We're in the AI mega cycle. Fundamentally, it should be bid until the end of the cycle happens, until the bubble pops. As already mentioned, nice big sell-off. We've got maybe a slight bit of undervaluing. I don't think it's gonna, it's not one of those that I think it's gonna go to $500-600 a share. Necessarily, but I do think, excuse me, I do think over the course of the next maybe, I don't know, maybe month or two, we could be looking back at 200, maybe 210, and by which case you would have made yourself a nice packet. I mean, the price at the moment at 150, well, pre-market's at 153.30, so you guys will be getting in around there. And at that point in time, if you buy back into the previous highs, you've done 25%. You know, so it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad little return at all. Right. What's next? I think, yeah, let's get over to the US indices then. So Dow Jones, NAS 100 and the S&P all respectfully trading quite high at the moment. We got 174s and we got a 158 on the US indices in terms of daily growth change today. The DAX, not that I want to spend any more time on this, but that is one hell of a move. 3.25% bullish day in the DAX. Yeah, the Tangerine Man doing his work. He's probably bought loads of the DAX this morning. Right, so US 30 Dow Jones and the rest of them, we're all going to see. We're going to have to deal today with the fact that we've got these huge bars on every single chart. So it's not going to be overly pretty. It's not going to be a great place for us to start thinking about trading it, unfortunately. It's not going to be great. Because, of course, we're dealing with the aftermath of these markets. Now, I know if I asked my guys in the city what we should do this afternoon, I guarantee you every one of them would turn around and be like, stay out. And that's what they would all say. They see something like this. They've got news on the wire about war talks with US against Iran, the rest of the Middle East. You know, they would be fleeing. But I don't feel like I need to flee at this stage. I think we just need to be relatively careful. That's what I think. I don't like the longs, but I think the shorts have probably got some salt. So the floor there is ideal. Got the breaker structure below that low, and you've got the margin between 46.021 and then the lows down here at around 45.256. So there, down to there, with your stop losses probably at around a 1 to 3. So that's what I'd be going for the Dow Jones. Now, looking at the NAS 100. Again, like I said, these are all going to be looking the same within a manner of speaking. So we've got, that area in there, which is the structural point for the short, which looks really good. We've also got the low down there, and then ultimately you'll be looking to close the margin down there. I'm not sure about the longs from up at these highs. I mean, we're already looking at 1.85 daily change. We've got like this level in here, I suppose. And then we can take that up to the previous highs, which is there. I'm not sure about this one, guys. It's not a huge distance to go for the NAS 100 in a trading session, but I have the feeling after what we've already seen, markets are going to get pretty tired out, and then we're coming into the US Open. It's going to be an exhaustive session. Maybe we'll just go for the split on either side of that. So you've got your shorts down there, you've got your longs up top. Stop loss there, nice margin above the breaker structure point. And then the space in the middle is the no man's land, where we can let the market do its thing. We'll have a quick flash of the Dow, the Standard & Poor's, sorry. Yes, no point doing that one. It's exactly the same as the NAS. Yeah, all right, team. Well, I think that's about it for the US indices. We've got a short available in the Dow Jones. The NAS 100 is the real piece of the puzzle here. We've got trade ideas on both sides of the market. We've got a decent no man's land set up, so that's okay as well. Can't remember if I downloaded the. I can't remember. I'll do it again. Yeah, and that's about it really. We've got a full recovery of the day's losses in gold. We're only, what, minus 0.5% down. What's the dollar index doing? Big sell-off day in the DXY. Yeah, this same exact candlestick pattern is going to be in almost every chart that we're looking at today. Anything that is directly or indirectly affected by the US dollar, which is like 90% of trading assets, they're all going to have the same show here. So I think it's probably just best to stay away as much as possible. Get in and out of the market this afternoon, have a good look at the US indices and leave it there. Natural gas still tanking. We've got a minus 10% day in UK Brent. We've got a minus 9% day in US crude. These will probably close even lower as well because the markets are continuing to trade down. I mean, we're talking about some real big numbers here, minus 10.05%. And when, I mean, that initial spike down that we had, from there down to here, that's a 15.12% move. And that happened in 1 minute, basically. So it's quite the sizable move. It's good just to let it's just good practice. Let the dust settle, and then we can make a plan of action after that. And that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be patient, let the dust settle, and then we can hit off some exposure tomorrow. Today, we will make do with the US 30 Dow and the NAS. We've got trading opportunities on either side of the market. The NAS 100. Keep the Dow as a backup for the time being. Backup short. Yeah, I think that's about it. All right, team. Well, if there's no questions or anything, I'm going to wrap things up there. We are at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You've got about a half an hour to go before the US bell rings. So go and get ready for it. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to go and download the market report. That is for those of you on the inside of the trading community. So for those of you out there on YouTube watching this over the course of the next hours, please feel free to come and join us. There's a free trial on any of the memberships at all, and there's a free account as well that you can make, where you'll be able to join the market report. You won't be able, there won't be any live events until a Wednesday, but you will be able to get your copy of the market report. All right, so take care, have a good one, and I'll see you then. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.